Hello everyone, it's been a while since I made one of these, and I figured what better time than now to do a complete guide from A to Z on Train Life and include all platforms that the game has been released on. This video will be your holy grail in-depth guide of information for Train Life. We're going to be talking about everything from getting started, even before you fire the game up for the first time, to advanced features like company management and city leveling. So strap in your seatbelts, even though there's no seatbelts on trains as a driver, grab a beverage and settle in, because this is going to be a doozy of a video. Remember, you can skip ahead to get to the parts that you're most interested in using the timestamps in the description for those that want to get in and out. Before we get into the nitty-gritty details of the game, I wanted to first talk about what exactly is Train Life. Train Life is an open-world train simulation game where players can choose their path to becoming the ultimate transportation company. The game is made at a scale of about 1 to 16, and you will travel across vast farmlands, forests, cities, and industrial locations. You carve out your own path in the game by playing how you want. You will take on contracts that will take you on long trips across the countryside, or short intercity passenger runs where you can plan your own route. You will recruit new drivers, send them on jobs, and build a team of employees you can trust, and all the while, you will be able to do your own routes and jobs while having people work for you in the company management aspect of the game. You will be able to drive trains like the Salzgitter 6, as well as experience the classic Orient Express route in your scenario mode. Speaking of scenarios, when you want to take a break from the main game, you can challenge yourself and earn rewards by playing scenarios that can be accessed from within the game and take on the time trials for specific routes. Now that we know what Train Life is, it's time to talk about getting started. Before you even start Train Life for the first time, as well as for those newcomers out there, there's a plethora of information that you can get outside of what the in-game tutorial educates you on. First off, we have a Discord channel where you can speak with like-minded players and get information on the game if you're stuck somewhere. Like for example, this unofficial beginner's guide that we will be getting inspiration from for this video that was made by one of our most dedicated community members, Trainsman. Or maybe you want to share a nice meme or two. The choice is yours. We have a great community of passionate gamers, and I'm sure you will find your place in our server. The link to join will be in the description below. We have other, albeit older videos of Train Life when it was in early access still, which could be interesting to some of you, but keep in mind, some of the information may be a little bit out of date. You can also gain information on all previous blog posts we have been making, as well as developer notes on the Steam community forums. If you want to check out some of our fan-made content, you can also check out Tintin's channel, who helped make this video. Shout out to you, Tintin. We also do live streams every Monday where we play the game, take questions from the community, and bring on other team members from Simteract to talk about the game and have a nice chat with the community. You can check out all of our previous live streams on our YouTube channel as well as Twitch. When you first launch the game, you'll be greeted by this awesome starting screen. Here, you'll be able to choose if you want to start a new game, continue your last save, or change some options as you wish. Remember when I said you can play the game how you want? Well, this is how. You can choose a sandbox mode where you'll be able to change the in-game settings to your desire. Want infinite money? No problem. Maybe you want to disable derailing. Go ahead and do that. Train Life is a game that should be played how you want. I thought I might also take this time to go over what each slider does when making a game in sandbox mode, as I noticed some confusion in the community regarding this topic. So hopefully, this will straighten things out. This category is pretty straightforward. Want infinite money? Go ahead and select it. You can adjust the amount of rewards you get from delivering contracts, as well as multiply the cost of locomotives and their parts. You can raise or lower the threshold to where you basically lose the game and start over. And finally, disable any level requirements to make purchases within the game. In this section, you can raise or lower the deadline time for the jobs that you take. Want tighter deadlines? Maybe you want to lower the bar. Maybe you want 1 month to do a short route. Raise it. Play the game how you want. The cities multiplier lets the player raise or lower the amount of experience you get when leveling cities. The higher the multiplier, the higher they will level, and vice versa. These settings allow the player to set the amount of production and industries that the stations produce. If you leave it as on, you will instantly receive the materials that have been created, and you can disable all service centers that are not located within a city for that extra bit of challenge. This setting allows the player to adjust the amount of experience and money that their employees get when completing jobs within Train Life. And you can also adjust the setting when you're stopped to have your employees progress while you're not moving within the game. If you enjoy this kind of gameplay, then by all means, dive right in. In this section, you're able to adjust how you want AI trains to drive in the game as well as your own gameplay by adjusting your fuel usage, slippage, and incline-decline impact when going up or down hills. These are settings that we wish we could adjust in real life, but unfortunately we can't. So we have to live out our outlaw fantasy by driving trains. Here, the player is able to adjust the amount of fines or disable them altogether, as well as adjusting the amount of damage your train receives and the durability that's lost. This one is pretty self-explanatory. Hate fog? Turn it off. Play God and disable the weather altogether? Fine, but don't come back to me when you haven't seen rain on your windshield for the better part of 5 years. However, if you want a more orthodox experience when starting a new game, you can simply click on New Game, choose your avatar, name, company name, country, difficulty, and get started. But wait, not so fast. If this is your first time playing Train Life, I highly recommend you make sure you have the tutorial first. You will get a fundamental understanding of the game's mechanics, the signaling system, and how to load and unload wagons. I don't want to do a guide talking about a guide in this guide video. Guideception, anyone? Anyways, just do the tutorial first. We can avoid falling into a parallel universe of trains. Once you get thrown into the open world after the tutorial, you're ready to start your Train Life adventures. Before we get into the epicness that is Train Life, let's talk about what you see on your screen first. On the upper right hand side, you will see the time of day as well as the amount of money you have currently available to you. Moving down a bit, you see your speedometer as well as the current speed limit you should be following on the track you're on. Hey guys, Future Mike here. As of patch 1.2, which is the last patch we implemented, we added a widget next to the brake and throttle indicators that will help players see how far they have to the next speed limit sign. Now back to you, Mike. On the right hand side of the speedometer, you see some icons showing you if your headlights are on, or if your train is in reverse, if your parking brake is on, and finally your wheel slippage. Wheel slippage is when you give your locomotive too much throttle and your wheels start spinning in place, preventing you from accelerating efficiently. Right under your icons, you have the amount of durability you have left on your train, as well as the amount of fuel left. Finally, next to that, you have the amount of acceleration and braking power. One final thing I wanted to talk about in the UI is the minimap and the information you see around it. On the minimap, you will see your navigation route that you set, as well as icons that might be of interest to you. Above the minimap, you see a no route set. Depending on which platform you're on, will determine the button you need to press to set your next pickup and drop off destinations. Depending on the platform that you're playing on, make sure you double check the keybinds to do this action. And on the bottom of the minimap, you should see a blue circle notifying you if the track you're on is clear or needs to be switched due to an oncoming or broken down train. As part of the HUD, the communication panel also plays a big role in the way you play Train Life. From here, you'll be able to request access to stations, take on deliveries, as well as contracts. When you get close to a certain station, the radio communication panel should tell you which station you are close by, so that you can start calling in and accepting contracts or picking up passengers. In the dashboard, you'll be able to find a variety of information ranging from your current level, distance traveled, as well as your total time played, and much more useful information that you see here. In the Company tab, You'll be able to see information such as how many employees you have on task or off task, as well as a wealth of information regarding how many wagons you delivered in the last 24 hours. In this tab, you can also change your name and logo, as well as your company colors that will be reflected on the train you're currently driving. Diving deeper into the company tab, you can see tabs such as My Train, Employee List, My Skills, and Level Unlocks. In each of these tabs, you will find useful information regarding which tasks you're on and where to go to complete them. You can also hire, fire employees, as well as level up your perk points that help you make more money from employees, as well as the damage your locomotive takes. This tab shows you the entire world map in Train Life. I know that at first it could look a little bit daunting, but we have easily remedied this by adding filters to the map to help you see your objectives more clearly. You can also set navigation points as well as check the progress of your cities in the tab next to your map. Since we're on the topic of city leveling, I might as well cover the topic now. So the question is, how do you level up your city in Train Life? You can level up your cities by delivering wagons of goods to the city in question. Let's say you want to level up Aachen in Germany, and in order to level up that city, you have to deliver 10 wagons of steel sheets and 10 wagons of bread. So what you would do in this situation is check the production tree in the Help tab in the dashboard. Check to see that you have to go to the steel mill to get steel sheets. From there, you check your map and find a steel mill. However, in this situation, as you can see, there is no steel sheets available to pick up. So in this case, we actually have to start the production of steel sheets from the very beginning. So first, we would start off by going to the iron mine to get iron ore. Then, we would take the iron ore to a smeltery, where we would receive refined iron. From there, we could go to a steel mill to get steel sheets, and finally, take those steel sheets to a factory or a warehouse to finish off the production chain. So an example route starting off from Nuremberg, if we want to level up Aachen with steel sheets, would look like this: Frankfurt Iron Mine, Mannheim Smeltery, Antwerp Mill, Aachen Warehouse. Of course, you can make this route as efficient as you want in order to level up your cities faster. Remember to call into the station beforehand and set your route to the correct drop-off track when nearing your destination. Rinse and repeat until you get all the cities up to level 3 so you can get maximum efficiency. The final thing you'll be able to find in the dashboard is the Scenarios tab. Here, you can do a variety of different passenger, shunting, towing, and Orient Express scenarios, with each scenario giving you rewards if completed within the given time frame. So try your best and good luck. So when you finish the tutorial, you'll get put right into the game given the starter station that you choose when creating a new game. From this point, you will have two options. You can either do cargo mode or switch to passenger/postage mode in the next service center. I would recommend starting off by opening your communications panel and checking to see which stations are around you. You should be starting off with the Salzgitter train, which allows you to do deliveries, cargo, as well as postage runs. Since you already have the right train for the job, go ahead and open the stations panel for a given station in the communications panel. From here, you can see the available cargo that you'll be able to pick up. So go ahead and reserve a pickup and start heading to that station by selecting the navigation point on your map. As you're headed to your desired station, make sure you select your navigation above the minimap to pick up track, so that you don't get confused by being on the wrong track and not being able to pick up your load. This could differ depending on which platform you're playing on Train Life, so please, again, check your key binding. Once you're on the correct track, press the required action button and couple your wagons together. Once everything is coupled, check your destination by going into the player dashboard, then set the navigation in your map. That's all there is to it. Make sure you don't hit any deer on your way out, and follow the speed limit indicators and the player HUD. Good luck. In the previous topic, we talked a little bit about cargo trains, and now I wanted to go into detail regarding all of the types of modes that there are in Train Life, and those are cargo, passenger, and postage. As mentioned, cargo mode allows the player to pick up wagons filled with certain types of materials ranging from steel sheets to bread and wheat. You go from industry to industry, picking these materials up and bringing them to the other production industries and cities to level them up and produce more goods. Cargo jobs are usually much longer and pay more. Passenger mode allows the player to use passenger trains to pick up passengers and postage. In this mode, cargo trains are strictly disallowed, which forces the player to plan their routes around certain cities and take people from point A to point B. At the service station, you are able to add postage and passenger wagons for your next passenger or postage route. In the meantime, you are also able to pick up postage with your passenger train and along the way, make some drop-offs depending on the route you planned. You can plan multiple destination points along the way so you can make it easy or as complicated as you want. Pro tip: based off of what is already marked on your GPS route in the passenger and postage game mode will depend on the type of passenger or postage you will be picking up. Service stations in Train Life play a crucial part in your adventures in the game. In the service station, you can customize your train on the inside and outside by adding certain dashboard cosmetics. You can also buy new trains, add parts to them, sell your trains, and reverse the train if needed. Overall, the service station will be your go-to destination whenever you want to make any changes to your locomotive during your adventures. If you decide you want to play the passenger and postage mode in Train Life, after you add passenger and postage wagons to your train, you'll be able to start making some routes. In your communications panel, you select the station you're trying to go to and then open the station panel. From there, you'll be able to see which stations have passengers or postage awaiting to be transported. At that point, you can go back to your map and start planning multiple routes. Keep in mind, you can only drive locomotives that are designated for passenger and posted runs. You cannot use cargo trains to run these kinds of routes. Company management is a whole other aspect of Train Life that you can conquer. In the company management panel, after opening your dashboard and selecting company, you will see a summary of your company's inner workings. Everything from the amount your employees earned to the number of wagons you delivered in the last 24 hours. Moving forward, you have the My Train panel, where you can see what kind of jobs you're actually doing, and you can filter the game mode that you're currently on. In the Employee List panel, you will see all of your active employees that you hired and what routes they are currently doing. Remember, when you're hiring employees and sending them on jobs, you have to keep your train moving at least 20 kilometers per hour or else they will not complete their jobs. However, if you're playing a custom or sandbox difficulty and you disable this option, you don't have to worry about it. Moving on to the My Skills panel, here you can add perks like more money from your employees to the locomotive damage that was taken by you. You earn perks by leveling up, so get to working. The last panel displays level unlocks, where you can see the metaphorical carrot on a stick to give you some motivation as to what is the next thing you will unlock after you level, and it also shows what you have previously unlocked with your earlier levels. So the question you might be asking at this point is, how do I start hiring employees? Well, I'm here to answer that. You start off doing that by clicking on the Employee List panel and then on the empty slot. After that, you will get a list of employees with their skill levels next to their avatars. The higher their skill level is, the more expensive they will be to hire, so choose your employees wisely. If your employees do good and start leveling up, you can also start giving them perks to benefit your own gameplay. If you're not satisfied with an employee, you can always fire them as well. Once you selected an employee, the next thing you're going to want to do is give them a train. So be sure you can afford a second train to give them so they can be on their way. Once you give them a locomotive to drive, click on the Create a Task button to send them on their first job. In order to send your employees to a specific location, you need to have visited that area first in order to unlock it. Once you have visited that area, you will be able to send your new employees on their way. And that about sums it up, ladies and gentlemen. Boy, was that a long video, but I believe it was well worth it. If you enjoyed this video or have any questions or comments about it, please let me know in the comments. It took me a while to make it, and I'm eager to hear your feedback. Make sure to like and sub to the channel, as we will have more content to share on future updates and our other games as well. If you've made it to the end, Kudos to you. You're a real train lifer. See you on the tracks, everyone.